What's up, everybody? It's your boy aka Big Zeke, coming at y'all with another weekly inspirational thought. Before we get started, I ask that you all please keep my family in your prayers. We lost one of my aunts over the weekend. Please, if you want to call out name, call out the Ellis family in your prayers, and we greatly appreciate all prayers at this time for my family. Um, with that being said, we're going to jump right into the weekly inspirational thought. I thank you all in advance for your prayers, support, and everything. And here we go. So, the thought for this week is a fresh start. Okay, fresh start. The reference scriptures are going to be Genesis chapter 12, 1 through 3. And that's both NIV as well as King James Version. Okay? And the King James reads, Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. The NIV reads, The Lord had said unto Abram, Go from your country, your people, and your father's household, to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all peoples of the earth will be blessed through you. So, a fresh start. A lot of times in life, we get into points in our lives where we do indeed need a fresh start. And sometimes getting that fresh start can be difficult because a lot of times we hold on to things or people that we shouldn't hold on to in getting this fresh start. Now, in that particular passage of scripture, God was instructing Abram to go where I tell you to go. I'm paraphrasing. Don't take anybody with you, because at this time, for those who know the scriptures, Lot, his cousin Lot, was with him, and they had servants, both of them, and So he said, no, don't take anybody with you. You get up, go. You, your wife, y'all get up, go to where I show you. Excuse me, and I'm gonna bless you there. But in order to bless you there, I'm gonna need you to leave them off to, leave them behind on this one. And sometimes it's like that. When you get a fresh start, you can't take certain things or people with you. And sometimes we do that and we can't get the fresh start that we are supposed to have or we need at that moment. So I got a few notes here. And the first note is sometimes we have to leave the comfort of home in order for God to bless us and use us the way that He wants to bless and use us. Well, I was just saying, sometimes in order to maximize what God has on the inside of us, we have to go to where God has for us to go. And all of the times with this fresh start, it doesn't just mean physically. It can also mean mentally. There are some things mentally and spiritually, places where we need to go that we can't take people on those journeys with us. And yet we try to, and then we can't. Then we wonder, well, why do it feel like the same thing over and over again? Case in point, you ever have a bunch of issues at one job? You leave that job, but then a couple people leave with you, your core people, they cool with, y'all all go to the next job. And then all of a sudden y'all experiencing some of the similar issues at that job or some different issues that y'all don't like. But you're wondering, why am I experiencing this? It ain't the people that you took with you necessarily, but you can't be maximized because when people are with you, they're in your ear. They're talking to you. They're giving you ideas. So things that you would probably do when you're alone, you're not going to do because you're getting sucked in by the peer pressure. And so sometimes it's great for us to, when God tells us to move alone. Not because we're trying to think we're better than nobody or we're trying to push others away, but because God is trying to take you somewhere and utilize you, but He can't do it where you are. And if you take certain people or certain mindsets or certain attitudes or certain things that you're used to with you, the comforts of home, you're not going to be able to be fully maximized the way that God desires to use you because you got some of that old stuff in you. We're going to get into that in some of the other notes. We have to leave what we know in order to gain access to what God wants us to know. Middle school can't teach everything that high school can teach you. And it's the same way in God. Sometimes you can only go so far in a certain place, mindset, or atmosphere, and then you have to graduate to wherever God leads you. And no, when I say this, I'm going to put a disclaimer in here. I'm not talking about job hopping or relationship hopping or church hopping or, bouncing around to different places and things like that, or just leaving randomly for no reason at all. What I'm talking about is sometimes you can get to a certain level, and then that level is as far as you're going to go in that place. And you have to graduate to another level in order to keep elevating as God desires you to elevate. Just like how we were in school, middle school to high school. Middle school can only teach you so much. But then you get to that ceiling in middle school, you got to go on from middle school. You can't stay in middle school forever. So you got to graduate to high school. It's the same thing in life. Stages of your life. There's certain places where you are for so long, and then once you get to that ceiling, you have to graduate. It's not like this is not like one of the things where you think you better than a place or an atmosphere or a situation, but you got to graduate. And sometimes part of that graduation is getting a fresh start, and you have to go and get that fresh start and graduate to get to that next level. Okay. But I'm not talking about just randomly church hopping either, and I'm going to touch a point that's similar to what I'm about to say, but because some folks, they'll leave a church, they'll leave a job just because somebody looked at them funny and say, oh, it's time for me to get a fresh start, I'm gone. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about graduating and going and eating at everybody's table. Because you can't eat from everybody's table because everybody don't prepare the food the same way, if y'all get what I'm saying. But that's another topic for another day. Next note. In order to get a fresh start in any area of your life, you have to be willing to lose some things in order to gain what God has in store for you. That's family, friends, job, status, financial security, this, that, and the other. Okay? And I think that ties into this note too. Everybody and everything can't go with you when you get a fresh start. Some things people have to get left behind in order for you to get where God needs you to be, in order for Him to use or bless you the way He desires to, because they can't handle what God has in store for you, and they weren't meant to, and vice versa. All of what I just read off ties in together. You have to be willing to lose some things in order to gain what God has for you. Okay? You have to. It's almost expected. When you try to graduate, when you're trying to go for those who go to college, when you go from high school to college, you can't go to college with the same high school mindset or the same high school work ethics and expect that to work in a college playing field. You're going to have to let that go. Sometimes, unfortunately, you got to let go of some of the friends you had. Sometimes you got to let go of some family members, not because they're bad or not because it's nothing negative. It's just you're trying to grow. And in the growth process, sometimes some people and some things just don't mesh with what you're trying to accomplish in your life and where you're trying to go through. And it's not to say that they're bad, because there's nothing wrong with them. Y'all both could be destined for great things, but y'all are going on different paths to get to those great things in each other's lives, and that means y'all may have to separate for a while. You may have to split apart to get to where y'all need to get. Okay? And with that, again, It's not a bad thing or bashing anybody saying, "Oh, well, I'm trying to get places. I gotta leave you because you ain't going. You ain't trying to go nowhere." No, it's not saying that at all. Y'all both could be going and destined. Y'all both can be destined for greatness. God may have something great for both of y'all, but it just ain't meant for y'all to be together along the journey while y'all doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You gotta do what you gotta do. They gotta do what they gotta do. No love lost. And you're gonna have to get your fresh start. They're gonna have to get their fresh start in order to do this. Um, Fresh starts are sometimes needed not only to elevate you forward, like what I've been talking about, to where you're going in life, but also to recharge and refocus you from what you've been through already, like hurts, pains, roadblocks, etc. And I'm going to tie this note in with that. When getting a fresh start, we have to be careful not to bring old hurts, pains, experiences that hinder us and harmful mindsets along for the ride. What do I mean by that? Well, reference 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 through 8. I'm going to read the NIV version. It says, "Your boasting is not good. Don't you know that a little yeast leavens the whole batch of dough? Get rid of that old yeast so that you may be a new unleavened batch as you really are. For Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed. How can we be who we really are if we are tainted or leavened? And how can we start fresh if we bring along our old yeast, which is our hurts, pains, etc. for the ride?" Think about that for a minute. How can we expect to grow, but we bring along all that excess baggage? Like what I said before, you can't get a fresh start and bring along old baggage and old ways of thinking and old ways of doing things and expect that new start or that fresh start that you got to be successful. You're going to have to let that stuff go. You're going to have to let those things go. You can't bring it along for the ride. You can't bring bitterness and hurt and hurts and pains and scars and things that hurt you from your past. You can't bring that where you're trying to go. You got to leave that where it is in order for you to gain that fresh start, or else it's not going to work. Okay? When we get a fresh start, we have to rely on God to exercise great faith in Him, as well as ourselves, in order to start or stay on that new journey that we may be on in the fresh start season of our lives. When we get a fresh start, we can't second guess ourselves or God because we are afraid or unsure of what's next. We have to trust God that much, the more, that everything will work out just fine because God will never leave us or forsake us. And that's pretty much self-explanatory. If God be for you, who can be against you? If God led you somewhere, please believe He's going to give you every tool to succeed and everything you need to succeed on that fresh start and on that new journey. So we got to trust Him. We can't get there and be like, "Oh man, I wonder, was this the right choice?" I've done that before. "Oh man, I wonder, was this the right choice? I wonder, should I really have done this?" No, trust God. He's not going to lead you nowhere where He ain't going to let you succeed. That ain't the type of God He is. And my final point, make sure that when you are in search of an opportunity for a fresh start, that it's for the right reason. Don't seek a fresh start out of emotions or because of others. When you're looking for a fresh start in life, whether it's a new job, whether you're feeling led to go to a new ministry in church, whether you're feeling led to go get into a new relationship, love relationship, friendship, business partnership, whatever it is, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. As far as like, okay, if God led you there and if this is the best move for you at that stage in your life, don't do it because, "Oh, I want to prove to the world that I can do this, da 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 da." Don't do it because of ill motivations or trying to show people up, or because other people are telling you that's what you need to do, so you think you got to please them and do what you feel like they want you to do with your life. No, this is your life. So you have to do what's best for you. And if getting a fresh start in this stage of your life, in this moment of your life, is what's best for you, then you have to do it the best way possible. And the best way to do that is do it for the right reasons. Don't seek a fresh start just because you feel like, or don't seek a fresh start because somebody done made you mad, or because a situation has upset you, or because, you feel like you have to please somebody else. Get that fresh start. Seek that fresh start because that's what's best for you at the time. I love y'all. That's all I got for y'all this week. God bless y'all. Continue to keep my family in your prayers. There might be a part two off of this. If y'all want to see a part two off of this, feel free to leave that below in the comments section. I'm going to leave all the reference scriptures in the comments section. I love y'all. I appreciate your support. God bless y'all. May he keep y'all. And as always, be inspired.